Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at upcoming storms. We have a lot of upcoming storms actually across the central and eastern United States. They are going to start in the western United States as well. This will bring some severe weather to the central and eastern United States. Also some snowfall out west and for the northern regions of the central and eastern United States. So there's so much upcoming that we need to talk about in this video. Anyways, before I get into this video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think that March will feature above average or below average severe weather? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video. And first things first, we're taking a look at our current radar imagery. As always, we do have some precipitation obviously going on up here in the northwestern United States, so we have a lot of that going on. We also have some snowfall up here for the north central United States, and then some storminess here for the southeastern United States. Showers and thunderstorms taking place down there, as well as some snow showers lingering through the early morning hours there in the northeast. Let's zoom into the northwest though, first things first. And as you can see, we have some storminess as expected. We've expected this for quite a while. Heading up here into the northwestern United States. This is bringing snowfall here for the northern Rockies, also for the Cascades here, but rainfall here for the valleys and also for the coastal regions. So this is a very complicated place for weather because it's low elevation, high elevation, low elevation, high elevation. So you've got all these different factors going on, and it's very difficult to forecast. But once you are more familiar with it, and if you live here, obviously you are, it becomes a little bit more simple. But we do have a lot of heavy precipitation actually in here. We see these yellows mixing in. That's right about here, which is more moderate, obviously. But that's some steady rainfall for a storm like this. And especially when you're seeing yellows sticking around for multiple hours, that is some pretty significant rainfall likely that's taking place for this region and also here further north in Washington as well. So there's quite a bit of precipitation, probably accumulating snowfall, again, like I said, for the Cascades here and then the Rockies as well. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the north central United States, where we do have a bit of a weak clipper system moving through the region. As you can see, for northern Minnesota, a bit of North Dakota as well, northern Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and now the northern regions of the lower peninsula of Michigan also getting some of this snowfall in here, likely bringing a dusting to maybe an inch or so, but it is moving quite quickly, and it is not the heaviest snowfall in the world either, so that is worth noting. We do have these snow showers that we saw around this region earlier in the morning. Pay attention to the time right here. Around 2, 3, 4, and 5 a.m. and then they finally dissipated. So likely you didn't even notice that these took place really. But it is interesting that there was widespread snow showers taking place overnight around 2, 3, 4 a.m. like I said before. Let's take a look down here further south. We do have these little isolated showers and thunderstorms taking place for Florida, Georgia, and maybe even some of South Carolina there as well. Mostly located here in the coastal regions of Georgia later on towards now from the time I'm recording this video. Also down here through Florida as well. But they've been kind of off and on throughout the entire region through the morning hours. We'll have to see if those dissipate or if they stick around through the morning this morning. Anyway, that's it for the radar right now. That's what's ongoing currently. What we're going to do here is we are going to move on and we're going to take a look at that model guidance and talk about some upcoming storms where we might see the United States seeing a lot more activity than just this. Now, firstly, we're going to be taking a look at our European model. We usually start out with this one, and this is the general flow of the jet streams, something like this. We are seeing some showers because of that southern jet in here, so we're seeing that precipitation in there. The northern jet is bringing some of these storms as well in here, as well as the snowiness up here. So we are seeing those jets with multiple different areas of precipitation because of them. We do see a bit of a well offshore nor'easter develop here because, again, the southern jet is coming through here. Northern jet starts to dip a little bit more on this eastern end by this point. This is by the time we're reaching Tuesday into Wednesday now. And then the northern jet primarily takes over here with the Clipper system here. This is, again, Wednesday, March 2nd, and then a storm here in the western United States. Let's just keep this going. That does become a bit of a snowstorm up here for the northeast, and that's going to be about, I'd say Wednesday into Thursday, the second into the third here, where we get more moderate snowfall up there. That'll be worth noting. And still storminess up here for the northwest and even in through the north central United States, and that's definitely going to be something to watch. That snowstorm for the northeast moves out, but what we eventually see happen is we do see a storm come up like this, our classic track that we've been dealing with in February. So let's just watch this play out. That storm swings around and goes like this. This pulls the cold air down in this region, and it shoves the warm air up for this region. And we see potential severe weather down here because our low pressure system's here, warm front, and then kind of a cold front underneath. So this is what we're dealing with here. I know I do this all the time, but this is what we're dealing with here. And that's going to be by Saturday, March 5th. So as we approach this upcoming weekend, which is pretty far out still, but that is when this would be likely happening. We do see some snowfall and ice, by the way, with this one, but it is kind of early to tell where that's going to be, so we're going to hold off on that. Low pressure system here again. Another cold front, another warm front, so we see another low developing here. So that's quite interesting to see this revolving pattern. And then we get a bit of another low pressure system here by the time we're reaching the 8th. That's going to be a Tuesday. Warm front there, cold front here. So that's the third storm. So activity will pick up, but that cold is getting closer and closer to the eastern United States and is shoving further and further southward. We would be watching for severe weather in all of these cases, and even here by the 9th through the 10th. We see another low pressure system dipping down in here, by the way. But not only that, we have this warm sector precipitation just kind of hanging out in here with the southern jet, and that could also lead towards some thunderstorms or severe weather when we have a very flat jet stream like this, and then some of this precipitation just on the southern end. Very, very interesting. Let's see what the GFS model says. So let's move past all of this. So we see one storm take place, less of a cold front, but it would be somewhere in there. That's going to be by the 5th. We see something setting up in here. See more storms take place, even more major this time around. Again, warm front bringing the warm air behind. Warm front is here. Cold front is here, bringing the cold air behind. And this is when we see that severe weather take place along there. I know there's a lot of drawing on screen. Multiple snowstorms potentially. And we get basically into a pattern where we see these storms frequently happening in here, and this is not what you want to see heading into some of the bigger severe weather months. March is usually, I would say, the third biggest severe weather month, and then you have April and May, and it's pretty much a toss-up between those two, but March is when things usually can start to pick up, and the likelihood dramatically increases from February into March, or especially January as we head towards March. So we are expecting potential for severe weather this time of year regardless. And seeing this frequent stormy pattern, I mean, if you just look at me play it through really quickly, it's clear to see here that there's just so much storminess through the first half of March that takes place in this, or maybe I would even go more broad with it, but this region here, and the type of storm is also significant. You know, it's quiet in here through the 4th or 5th, and then we start getting a lot of activity in there. As you can see, almost constant activity from about the 5th through the 16th at least, and it's in the form that you don't really like to see, where we have, I'm going to draw it here, but low pressure system here with a warm front out here, and then a cold front swinging underneath, so the cold air is shoving it, and then we have the warm air heading up like this, and the severe weather looks to take place in between there. So that's not what you like to see, a setup like that, but we see about, 5 of them take place in a 10-day period. So if we get into a pattern like this, like we've had in February, but it's actually March, we're going to have a lot more warm air available coming from the Gulf as we approach further into the spring, obviously. And that's going to be concerning, and it's going to have to be something we watch. But what makes March, April, and May so significant for severe weather is not only is that warm air available, which warm air is going to be available from, March through October, obviously. So you might be wondering why specifically March, April, May, and not, March through October. And while severe weather can happen any of those months, obviously, it can happen any month of the year. We watch for March, April, May specifically because there's still that winter cold air that can dip down at any point, obviously, especially through March and April, where you never know when an Arctic air mass is going to just shove its way down behind that cold front, and that can cause violent swings in the temperatures. You can go from this very warm spring air that is getting warmer and warmer as we approach towards April and May, like I said, but also there's enough cold air available southward that can bring its way south into the United States from Canada at any given moment and come behind those cold fronts and lead towards more potent cold fronts with the warmer air out ahead of it, which causes an even bigger difference between those air masses, which creates an even more instability in between. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, I got a little too into that, guys. We are at a 4 out of 6, obviously. Now, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how stormy do you think that March is going to be? And James Marr said, I believe March will be around the same amount of storminess as the month of February, and it does look quite similar, and similar type of storms as well, which is also super interesting. For today's patron, highlighted today, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Eagle, Larry the Band, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Cardis as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Cuddle, Capite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Calisi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Capite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.